Severe storms on the 14th and 15th of February 2014 further damaged the Kingsand Clocktower and Rame Institute building. Huge storm waves again breached the sea-facing Institute wall and severely eroded the internal west wall of the building, leaving the Clocktower and indeed the whole building in a most precarious state. The interior of the Institute became fully exposed and was severely battered by the large storm waves. It was evident that the Clocktower was extremely close to being lost. Measurements indicated that the top of the tower moved some 15 millimeters. Further shoring was installed on the 15th and the 16th of February 2014. The steel props were cross-braced and the bracing welded to the props to provide some stability of the tenuously propped structure.
This was made more difficult because the basal masonry under the props had been dislocated. It had actually been moved by the force of the sea. The propping was made more stable by bracing it with angle steel welded top and bottom to the props, and this provided a degree of stability.
Fred Champion scaffolding worked in difficult conditions, having to excavate up to 2 meters of beach shingle down to rock before being able to find a satisfactory foundation for the scaffold, which had to be anchored because of the rough sea state. The scaffold assemble was made increasingly difficult by the sea tides barely leaving the foot of the wall. Work started using sprayed concrete to reinstate the breached walls. The remnant wall faces were coated with sprayed concrete and prop ends were sprayed in. Anchor bars were grouted in to the remnant masonry structure and reinforcement fixed. Perforated profiled galvanized sheets were fixed to form a backing structure for the reinforced sprayed concrete infill and concrete sprayed to infill the breaches. John Grimes Partnership and Celtic Construction continued to work relentlessly. By midday on the 22nd of February, both parties were confident that the building had been made sufficiently robust and watertight to resist the expected storm on the 23rd.
The work at the moment is going very well. I think we're turning the corner. There's still a lot to do, obviously, but we're happier now than we were certainly at the beginning of the week. And luckily, we've had a slight break in the weather, which has obviously helped us a great deal. And so we can, with late shifts, we are actually getting a lot of concrete on the wall.
The Institute building was originally constructed in 1840 and the clock tower was added in the early 20th century. The building has long been exposed to the vagaries of the sea. The building was constructed using locally quarried red rhyolite, a volcanic rock. Inherent within this building stone are microfractures, the result of rapid cooling when the rock was formed. The storm waves exploited masonry jointing and these fractures in its rapid destruction. Committed to saving the clock tower, JGP and Celtic Construction and its subcontractors worked pragmatically, systematically and as necessary to give the building more than a fighting chance of survival.
Main things got to be done. We're still securing the underneath of the clock tower. There is going to be a wave wall designed by Dr. Grimes, which obviously we're going to do, and then there's a refurb of the whole building, hopefully.
Celtic Construction, Fred Champion Scaffolders and MR Gunite have really worked well together. We've been responding to the weather forecasts in attempts to get some robustness, some resilience into the building, and I think to date that we've achieved that, so that the building as it currently is so much more robust than it was.
Sea levels are rising and storms are becoming more common. Overhauling and a review of sea defences is necessary if coastal communities are to remain adequately protected.